What's up, guys? It's me again. Sweating profusely because party. Ooh, wow. So today we're gonna talk about 10 things about what Rona has taught us. You know Rona? If you've been living under the rock, then you don't know what Rona is lah. Because apparently Rona can even catch you if you're under the rock. Get it? Because the rock also another. What am I doing in my life? So number 10, compassion/empathy. What does this actually mean? You feel for the other person that's going through some like he never get to see his family, he's working overtime, he's not working. Then it come up with a lot of conversation bubbles, you know, like went to someone and just shake their hands and they say, hey man, how are you, what's going on, how's your day, what's your hobby, what you like to do, what have you been doing. That's it. The conversation usually will pan out from there. But because of this thing that's going on around the world, it makes us like, in a way, come up to someone like, hey, how are you really doing? Like, how has Rona changed you, you know? Like, what have you been missing? Like, how's your job doing? Are you okay? Like, oh, you lost your job. Okay, so like, what are you doing after this? How are you going to fight this situation, you know? Oh wait, you're working more hours now. You're not meeting your family. So it's like a lot of things that is happening to that person's life. You're getting very personal into, but you just met the person, you know? And the thing is, the person is willing to share because he knows that you yourself are going through some and he's going through some. So it's like, you know, let's be together lah, you know. Pull in the pile, cannot flush too much, eat too much sambal, then you makan, then you where am I going with this? Okay, number 2, the little things. The thing about the little things is that you start to realize that there's these small little things that you do before that you don't do now. Like for example me, when I go out, I tend to do this, I tend to do that, you know, then I tend to do this, I tend to do that, you know. So it's those things you can't do anymore. Like, you know, you touch the fish, touch people's hands, touching someone, you know, like you go to a guy, or as a guy, you go to a guy, you touch his shoulder, or you actually you're not, now you're quite afraid to even salam people, you know. Like it comes to the point when I go to an uncle, the uncle don't just, you know, they don't do that anymore. They do this, bro, what's up, elbow, give me your elbow, you know. So those little things, you know, like you tend to turn around like, hey, we're not doing this anymore, you know. Like when you go into someone's car, you tend to sit only, you don't move, you know, you don't touch the stereo, you don't touch the seat, you just sit down, you wear your mask, and you just like, you know, when you take Grab lah basically. And let's say when you go to the shop and you buy something, for example, and you can go feel for things. I'm taking this apple, I'm smelling it, taking this orange, smell this durian, you know. You tend to touch things. Now it's like you yourself do not want to do that, you know. Like it's so bizarre that how it changed our whole psyche as people, you know, and our whole behavior. You know, you tend to open up your fridge and then you see all those food lying there, then you're like, we shouldn't let this go to waste. Last time you open up your fridge, you're like, oh, nothing to eat, let's go back out, let's go buy makan. The fridge got nothing, but actually the fridge has a lot of food lah. So yeah, it's just those little things that you don't realize that you're actually doing it now, that you do a lot before. Like for me lah, for example. Okay, number 3, gratefulness. When you're waking up one day, you know, you wake up, you lost your job, you lost your family, because they are far away from you, you cannot access them so easily now. You tend to wake up and finding yourself one day that, hey, I lost so much and yet I can stand up, you know, I can eat, I can sleep, I got a roof over my head, you know, even though I got no job, somehow there's a plate full of food for me waiting. It's just a new sense of gratefulness that you feel lah. Like when you, last time, those little things don't matter to you, you know. Last time the thing that matter is money. Money is the one that make make us think, you know, we have to wake up, make money, go home. That's it. We don't do this thing like, hey, I'm wearing my shoe. Am I wearing my shoe correctly? Do I have even enough socks? Do I have enough clothes that I have? You know, am I counting my meals? Should I skip lunch? Should I skip my dinner? You know, it's those things that make you feel really grateful that you have a little bit, but you're not asking for more. Number 4, anger management. So, like, okay, I'm the kind of guy that don't get angry, but once I do, you need to try to stop me. If you don't stop me, I'll keep, you know, you keep boiling. You know, when you're driving, you know, your key, you never wear your mask, you're like, like, you know, my mask in the house, I have to go right inside the house, take the wrong mask, you wear the mask, wear the child mask, then you got the beard cannot cover the Rona on your beard, then you die. Okay, so all of you won't scold me, because I have a sanitizer. So, okay, number 5, it is a big topic, okay, big topic, depression. Okay, many of us don't easily say, hey bro, I'm depressed, hey man, I'm depressed. They don't say that, hey bro, I'm going through depression. You know, it is a whole other level. Even though it's the same word, different vowels, it's just the same word, but the way you say it is different, no? Like, hey bro, I'm depressed lah bro, I broke up with a girl, you know, like, I'm depressed. But during this time, you tend to say a bit differently. You tend to say that, hey, I am going through depression. I am going through that hole whereby I can't sleep at night. I keep overthinking of the future. What's happening next? What's happening now? What can I do better? Oh wait, I cannot do anything better. It's all over me. It's too much for me. I cannot handle this. Then, you know, you tend to open up that hole. Then you keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. And then you tend to find out that, hey, actually, yes, I am going through depression. I'm accepting it. I'm dealing with it, and I'm trying to move on from this. You know, I lost my family. I can't see my family. My family is like literally across the sea. So it's like, it's a point of time whereby you see this, you're like, okay, how am I supposed to deal with it? Am I supposed to just break down and cry every day? Cry myself to sleep every day of not seeing people who I love? Or should I be a better person and just deal with it the most healthy way possible, not by drinking, smoking, and, you know, do all that nonsense, but you take up something new, which is going to my next point, hobbies. During this Rona time, I remember when it was just starting, you know, it was about February, March, everyone was crazy about the dalgona, and then everyone was doing baking, everybody was doing the sourdough, everybody was doing bread, everybody was doing a lot of cooking at home. Then you found out, hey, I have all these hobbies to pour myself into, so that I don't think about my depression, my sadness, my heartbroken, my job loss. You focus on this thing whereby it's cheap, it's free, and you can put in all your effort and you can see the results straight away. It's many at times whereby we forget that, hey, you know what, I used to love photography as a child, or I used to love sewing, I used to love fashion, I used to love all these little things whereby you think that, hey, you lost it because you so focused in your life now. Then you went to school, you get a job, you got married, you got kids. You forget about your childhood hobbies, you know, the hobbies that you like. Then when during this time, when let's say you have a lot of time at home, then when you have a lot of time at home, you realize that, hey, I can relive my hobby. I can show my kids that, hey, that I used to, you know, I used to build Tamiya cars, or I used to build Lego sets, or I used to collect toys, or I used to do diorama, I used to do I love building portable like toys or something using out of cardboard papers. You know, you tend to have your creative side of mind activated when your reality side of mind is shutting down, because you cannot accept the reality that everywhere around you is burning up lah, basically. You know, it's not going well lah for the year of 2020. We are talking about time in the bigger sense that, okay, last time before and this thing happened, you do not have time for yourself. You know, you always say, oh, I want more family time. Okay, when can I get off? When can I spend more time with my family, or when can I get away more with my family? You know, where can I go? Like, how can I spend time with my kids? How can I spend time with my friends, you know? Then this thing bomb drop, you know, like a Hiroshima bomb, you know. Some of you cannot go to work, you're stuck at home. Then you found out, hey, the luxury of time is actually very important. It is more priceless than the job you have, and sometimes time is a bit poisonous, you know, because you're alone for, like for me, I'm alone for a number of months already with my wife. So I have her for her support and her family, but of course it's not your family, you know. No matter how hard you're trying to say that, hey man, this is my family, this is my wife family, this is my in-laws, this is mine, but it is not your blood and, you know, who you grow up with. So you tend to realize that, hey, I'm actually alone here, you know. Then when you find yourself alone, many people found that as a luxury, you know, but then to some people it's just poison. It's just like, it makes you question who you are, makes you question how you want to live your life, makes you question of, you know, your sanity lah, whether you're going insane or not, you're going insane, you know. It is very hard for me lah to actually express this. But then yeah, you know, we are all going through it, and again, in time things will get better. Topic number 8 is money and job. So what does this have to do? In a way that, okay, if you have a job, you have money. You have money but you have no job, you know. So it's too dynamic. You know, there are people who are old, who are working, who kept thinking that I do not have enough money, so I need to keep working. So actually they have money, but they have a job. So now they got money and no job. It is an early retirement for them, and they realize that, hey, I don't need to be spending like 100, like $1,000 every month. I can only spend 200, you know. Then I can keep the rest for my retirement, you know. So every month I can expand that money to years and years and years. So it's like I can just walk for normal meal. I don't need to spend luxuriously. I can use that money, I can spend it out in a long time. That is one dynamic. Then you got this dynamic of another spectrum whereby your job is your money. You do not have your job, you do not have money. So what happened is, you have your job, you studied so long, then you did your degree, or you did your diploma, then you did your degree, then you work. Then when you work, you found out, hey, during this Rona time, they asked me, okay, how you want to stay on this job? Is this job suitable for you? Are you planning to leave this job? They always ask this question during this time. When I was asked this question, I was like quite shocked, because I was like, hey, I studied for this, I wanted to join this line of work, but why are you asking me this? They said, they were like, because we're going through a tough time, then we just need really good employees with us. We do not want people who run away halfway through. Imagine asking someone this question when you're already working for them for the past 4 to 5 years. It is just a blow to your sanity and to your pride lah, basically, because you don't expect, okay, let's say you know someone for 4 years, then if someone were to call you up and say, hey man, are you sure you want to be my friend? Like, do you want to run away from me? Because I can find other friends that is more applicable to my time. So when that happens, you're like, of course you feel like, you know, what the heck, this, like, you know, I contributed like so many years of my life of this. I even got married from this job. Then I found out that, hey, they asked me this type of question. What the heck, you know? And then you realize that you have to leave your job, you know. But then this time, this Rona time, jobs opening, like, you know, like scanners, COVID scanners, all those like COVID swab tests, people, the lab testing, all the jobs are booming for them, you know, like the frontliners, the food panda delivery, all the delivery riders, the Lazada delivery riders, all those courier, you know, all that jobs are booming. And you found out that, hey, we have, our mindset has totally changed, you know, because in a way that we always thought that, okay, we need to have a degree, we need to become doctors, engineers, or we need to find a job that we like to pursue, like to become a photographer, to be a house agent or insurance planner, all that stuff. You found out that, hey, these jobs are not sustainable, you know, because sustainability is not something you think about when you're studying for that specific job. You get what I mean? So it's like that time you were studying just for the sake of the money lah. Like, you know, how much am I earning if I pass this, or how much am I earning for this. You forget that actually this used to be low earners group found out that their job cannot die, you know. Their job cannot die even if there's war, if there's a pandemic, if there's a bloody earthquake. These jobs cannot die. Which is the hardest point to say lah. It is family, you know. My last point lah, it's family basically. Like, how you are dealing with the family you have around you right now. So yeah, some people, they lost a lot of people this year, you know. They lost their uncle, they lost their auntie, they lost their dad, they lost their mom, they lost their brother, they lost their sister to this virus, they lost their cousins, you know. So it puts you to the spot whereby you keep thinking to yourself that, okay, who's next? Okay, who is leaving me next? Then how am I supposed to deal with it? Should this be the new norm? The new norm of having that feeling of, you know, I know something's gonna happen, I know something bad's gonna happen? Or are you gonna be hopeful that, you know, these things are not gonna hit me, I am gonna take care of myself, I'm gonna take care of the family that I have, I'm gonna be very grateful of people I have around me? And yeah, you have these two spectrum of thought, you know, because we do not know what, I do not know what you guys are going through. You guys do not know exactly what I am going through. So it puts you to the spot whereby you think that, oh, it is very hard for me to go through it right now. You just need to know that you're not doing it alone. Everyone is going through it somehow, one way or another. You know, some people left their wife to work in Singapore, and some people in Singapore left their whole family to just stay with their family here in Malaysia. So it really makes you feel very grounded and very small, and thinking that, okay, I need to keep this small bubble to myself, I cannot let anything happen to this bubble. But you know deep inside that, you know, it's not true, that things can happen, but it's just how you're going to handle it. You know, with the border closing, and you know, I cannot go home to my family, then I think to myself that, okay, why is this happening? Like, you know, I start to question, like, why is this happening to me? You know, I am asking the wrong questions, which I shouldn't lah. I should be asking myself, like, okay, how can I make this better? Like, what is a better situation than can I make out of this? Why are people doing this? Why are they shutting down the borders? Because to keep everyone safe, you know. And once you put that into mindset, keeping everyone safe in your mind, you realize that, yeah, it's true. During this time, like I said, compassion, the little things, gratefulness, anger, all that stuff, it comes down to safety. You know, your safety barrier. Like you do not want this thing to break. So how do you want not this thing to break? You don't want the Rona to come in. You don't want people to pass away. So how do you do that? Like, you take care of yourself, you be healthy. You know, you trust in everything that you have right now. Trust in God. You know. So yeah, like in that sense, every time you're digging yourself into that hole, I'm speaking this in a perspective of I'm talking to myself. Every time you're digging yourself into that hole of depression or anger or losing someone or feeling lonely, you just have to think that, okay, you know what, if you just look up, that's where you were digging at the first place. So there is a way for you to dig yourself back up. There's a way for you to climb back up, but it will be a very different hole lah. So you have to dig maybe a bit smaller, you have to climb a bit slower, you have to lose a bit of people that you love, and you just have to keep on going. That's my message for today lah. You have to just keep on going. Don't forget that, you know, you're not doing it, you're not going through this alone. You know, there is those people who committed suicide because of all these things going on in their life. They just cannot handle it. We are much stronger as human beings as what we are being told. You know, it takes a lot of brute force to break our bones. it takes a lot of heartbreaking force to kill us. You know, it really takes a lot of force for us to go down. But the only pushing force that is very easily to kill ourselves or to make ourselves feel more horrible is just ourselves. Our physical and mental mind is just up to us. And I believe that everyone can get through this. The year is ending, you know. The year is finally ending. We hope for 2021 for a vaccine to come. Be more hopeful. You know, have that love in your life. Have that love in your heart. Love people around you, even that someone who you just met. Not in a weird way lah, but yeah, you know, you appreciate the mom and dad that you have, the cousins that you always meet, the friends that you get to drink often with, the people who you get to lepak, smoke, steng with, you know. You just have to be happy for those little things and don't look so far ahead. You know, look at the next hour, look at the next 2 hours. What am I gonna do next? What am I gonna do next? And that's all. If you look too far ahead, you tend to forget that, hey, I'm actually at quite a great place right now. So yeah, that was a very tough topic to get my chest out. So if you're still with me now, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And yeah, peace. See you next time on the next video. It's coming up real soon. Yeah. Okay. Bye guys. I love you all.